Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to present to you five horror indie games that I think might be worth your time to check out. Now, I don't believe all of these are out yet and they are coming out, and there are demos to these, so I will leave links to the Steam pages in the description. I'm doing this because I'm going to start doing more of these to really start help showcasing indie developers because they deserve that spotlight. Given the state of the AAA game industry right now, I believe that indies deserve our attention now more than ever. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into five horror indie games that I think are worth your time to go check out. All right, guys. So the first game I want to talk about is called White Knuckle, and it's coming to early access on Steam. I believe this month is what they're saying. Yeah, April 17th is what they're saying here. And it looks interesting. Now, I would say this is less of a horror game and more just horror themed, but it looks like a climbing game where you're actually trying to climb to the top. There's a rogue-like element to it. So, like, there is some progression, but if you die, you kind of have to start over. But then you get to carry some progression over. So yeah, there's progression and perks, they say. So you run through a meta progression, you'll discover and unlock varied augmentations that will bolster you so you can make your exemption. There's an inventory management, so it looks like you can gain items as you go. It's interesting too, because I just see like there's these hands and you grab onto things and you can easily fall off. It looks really interesting. Let's see here. It also says you are not alone down here. Strange life flourishes for the underground, and darker things haunt these halls. Okay, so it is definitely more in the horror area. Something oozes from the depths, following you, growing angrier, and it won't let up. So they're kind of giving you that sense of something chasing you. Kind of reminds me of like, have you ever had a dream where something was chasing you, and but then all of a sudden it kind of felt like your legs were almost like rubber and you couldn't run. It almost kind of gives me that same feeling, you know. Instead, in this situation, you're just climbing. So, yeah, definitely check this out. It's coming to early access. There is a demo on the Steam page, and I think this is definitely worth a look at. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get on to another game here. With that game being called Look Outside. Now, it looks like it's made by Devolver, if I pronounce their company right. They've made other games like Hotline Miami, if I'm not mistaken. You correct me on that in the comments if I'm mistaken, but I do believe they did help make that game. This game looks like the premise is you are trapped in an apartment building, and so you have to basically prepare and go out and make expeditions to get supplies. And but however, it looks like a mysterious event turns everyone who looks out the window into grotesque monsters. So I'm guessing there's a sense where you can't look outside. Uh, Plan tense expeditions outside your apartment as you fend off grotesque monsters dwelling in and around your building. Return to your home with gathered resource and partial answers to your questions to recuperate by playing games, making dinner, crafting tools, and getting to know your neighbors turned allies. Let's see here. Clash in with over 150 handcrafted creatures in turn based combat. I love turn based combat. I'm a sucker for it. So it looks like it's definitely an RPG, a horror RPG of sorts. Let's see here. It's also offering 10 to 12 hours of playtime with a dozen boss encounters, friends to recruit, and visitors to invite back to your home. Look Outside offers different experiences for every player on their way to uncover several endings. I love when games do that because if I have a friend that's playing the same game I am at the same time and we can get together and talk about our different experiences with the game, that's always fun to do. Because then I can give them insight. I can be like, oh, well, in my game, this happened. And then they can tell me stuff that happened in theirs and it sparks conversation. I love that. Yeah, this game definitely looks interesting. I will be getting this one for sure. It's only $10 on Steam. So I highly recommend checking it out. I know I will for sure as well. All right, so the next game I want to talk about is called No, I'm Not Human. Now, unfortunately, there does not seem to be a demo or even a confirmed release date yet for this game, but you can go add it to your wish list. And I'm bringing this one up because it looks very unique, has a very disturbing art style, which I actually kind of like. And from what I understand, the basic premise is are trapped in your apartment, or maybe not necessarily trapped, or you're in your home, and there are people that will come to visit you, and you have to decide if they are human or not, because it sounds like the premise is either aliens or some kind of creatures have taken over, and they look human, but something's not quite right about them. So you have to make that judgment call if they're human or not, and if they are your enemy or your friend. So I don't really know a whole lot more about this game other than what they're talking about on the Steam page. It just really caught my eye, and for something that looks like a horror game, it's definitely intriguing me. So go check it out. I know I'm definitely looking forward to this one coming out, and I will be looking more into this game as time goes on. All right, so this next game I want to talk about is called House of Necrosis. And this one really intrigued me because it has that old school Resident Evil look, almost to a T in a way. Like, it's almost too uncanny. But that's okay because I'm a sucker for these kind of games. It does have a demo download, so you can try it out. And from what I'm seeing here, it looks like there's like a top down kind of Diablo type view with maybe a few other areas where there's a dynamic camera. But their character looks surprisingly like Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, almost like too similar, but just close enough that you can tell it's not. But yeah, this one looks very interesting. Has like the old school PlayStation looking graphics. There is an opening sequence here that I see on their Steam page where it's like that beginning hallway looks way too much like the Spencer Mansion from Resident Evil. But again, that's okay. Sometimes some of the best things can be imitated, but they have this RPG aesthetic going on here, and I really like that. Let's see here. Let's talk about some of the things they have listed here on their Steam page. Oh, okay. So yeah, there's definitely some RPG elements here. It says you can level up your character and upgrade your weapons while making your way through the house. Let's see here. Wander through the endless halls of the mansion that change every time you enter. So really what they did here is it looks like they took Diablo and Resident Evil and kind of mashed them together a little bit. I'm on board for that. So again, I'm going to leave the link to the Steam page down below. Definitely go check it out, and you can wish list it. I don't see any release date yet, but there is a demo, so definitely check that one out. All right, and then this last game I want to talk about is called Holstin. Now, this one is very unique because it blends an isometric view with an over-the-shoulder view. From what I can see here is you explore in the isometric view, and then when you go into combat, it's got the over-the-shoulder view. So let's go ahead and go through a few features here that they talk about. Let's see here. Explore a possessed town. So something is very wrong in the town of, I'm not going to pronounce, you can go read that. It's a weird name. Explore an eerie, isolated 90s Polish town that has been consumed by something wretched. The streets are overrun by some kind of filthy slime. The people, the buildings, and the wildlife all seem to slowly deteriorating from the outside. You need to find your lost friend and get out before this town sinks its claws into you. You know what I find interesting about this is I had a game idea a long time ago where I wanted to do a horror game where it all takes place in just a small town, and you had to uncover like a truth of maybe like people are disappearing and you have to find out why. That's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of an idea that I had. Not 100%, but that was something I toyed around with. I really love like the pixel art looking art here. I like how it like the camera shifts all over. There looks like there's side view, there's first person view, there's over the shoulder view. This looks very unique and interesting. The art style is great. I love the horror aesthetic they have going here and the lighting. Definitely go check this out. There is a demo of this also as well on the Steam page, so it's something you can try out. I am going to be downloading all of these games and trying them out. I just happened to run across these and they looked interesting, so I wanted to talk about them. So that's all I really have for you guys today. Definitely check out these 5 horror indie games. I think they look very interesting and they might be worth your time, especially if you're into horror games like I am. And let me know what you think about these games in the comments below if you've tried them out so far, at least the demos goes, and if there's any other game recommendations you have, I would like to hear from you guys. All right, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and give a sub if you are new here. I would highly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.